Savvy Business Radio, drawing out the best from our guests with our host, Christina Nitchman.
Our guest today is Bart Smith of Scout Puppy Local. Get advertising for your business and get the word out so you grow your business at a third of the cost of other advertising agencies. Go to scoutpuppy.com and at the checkout, put in Scout 100 to get 30 days free. Again, go to scoutpuppy.com and on the checkout page, put Scout 100 to get 30 days free. Hi, Bart. Welcome to Savvy Business Radio. How are you today?
I am doing awesome. Thank you for inviting us on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we love having you on. For the folks who don't know, Scout Puppy, which is founded by Bart, was our advertiser last month, and so you'll get to hear the wonderful work they're doing in more detail today and how they build Scout Puppy. And a fellow Brooklynite here joining us on the show. So welcome, Bart. Share with the audience a little bit about your background, because you didn't start out just owning this company, coming out of your mom's womb, starting Scout Puppy. So what brought you to the world of entrepreneurship?
I can also tell you it was not started in my mom's garage either, unfortunately, because it seems to where everything gets started these days, but no, it's not. So I spent my adult years, I just turned 40, and my 20s and 30s were pretty much spent in finance. And I got burnt out. I was probably 33, 34, and decided to take a year off and go back home. And so I did, and it was really boring, and I was really bored. And so I traveled the country, kind of went to a bunch of cool places. And a friend of mine called me. He said, look, I just lost my business. Can you help me find a job? And I was like, I can call around and see what I can come up with. And so I did, and in the process, I was able to talk to him a little bit more. And he had said that, look, my business is great. He was, I don't see it as a plumber. He was at HVAC, but he also did something else on the side. I can't remember what it was, but I've known this guy for probably 20 years of my life. And anyway, so he had gone through a crummy relationship, and it was like they never turn out the way you want the breakups to be. But anyway, the person was very vindictive, and she came up with a lot of fake email addresses, and she went to a review site, and she wrote 20 or 30 really bad reviews about his business, which weren't true, obviously. But it caused his star rating to tank, and he lost his entire company. And so in the process, I was like, this is strange. So I was kind of wondering what to do next. And so I was like, wouldn't it be cool to find a way to where people could get advertising and not have to worry about, a star rating or something taking them down? Because even though nowadays people are like, my reviews are great on whatever website they're on, what if they're not one day? What if you wake up one day and the whole world falls out from underneath you? And then what are you going to do? Where are you going to find the business at? How are you going to be able to recover from that? And it's a living lesson that, this happens all the time. And so I did research. I was really curious. I started calling business owners, and I would ask them, several questions, one being that, and I would get mixed responses. Most people are like, hey, look, review sites are necessary evil. We have to be on them because that's the only way we get found. And if we're going to advertise anywhere else, it's too expensive for us. Small and medium-sized business owners cannot afford to buy keywords on Google that are like shoes or, T-shirts, or these keywords cost $15, $20, $30, sometimes $50 a pop. It's outrageous. And so, these guys are struggling, and you have to be online. Yeah. So the more and more I thought into it, Scout Puppy Local came to mind. And I was like, what if we could combine what Google does, what Yelp does, what Groupon does, and put it all on one platform and make it simply just affordable for everyone? Yeah. What I realized in that process is we live in an age right now where online advertising is a necessity. Every business owner has to have it. And if you think you don't, you're going to go nowhere in this day and age. These are the yellow pages, and door-to-door and flyers are over. And so what we decided to do is we would build them a one-page website. We would do all the SEO, all the tags, all the keywords, all the content writing, everything. Didn't matter whether they had an online presence or not, because and a lot of people listening to this are going to hate me when I say this, but chances are if you're a small business owner, your website's crummy. It's junk. You might pay $4 or $5 to get a website done, but they're only doing small things. They're only giving you one or two keywords. The content is not strong. Their H1, H2 tags. I could go on and on forever. But long story short, so we launched Scout Puppy Local. So we wrote the code for the site, and which was a headache. I had to learn how to write code. So anyone out there wants to know how to write code, just go to it's called Website Building for Dummies, and it will teach you how to write code and get started from there. And you can learn it free online. But so it took some time. And I was like, hey, this is, it was important to me because it kind of hit home. It was like, this could be anybody. And this happens, again, all the time. We live in an era right now to where if a company says my product is worth $1,000 a month, and a small business owner is willing to pay that $1,000 a month, that makes that product worth $1,000 a month. But that doesn't mean you're getting the value of $1,000 a month. In fact, you never really are. So for us, the trick came into how can we make it affordable? We had to have copywriters, we have to have account managers in the field, we have to have in-house staff to deal with the customer service issues. And so we've found a way to price it where it's reasonable. And so far it's worked out great. And we've had a wonderful welcome to the business community. We just went national a few months ago. So we're in pretty much every small town and major city you can find in the United States.
That's amazing, Bart. And it goes to show you today we're so small as a world, globally and domestically. But it goes to show the power of reviews and the power of what people say. And it used to be say, hey, if my neighbor or my best friend said something awesome about a company, I would go buy it. But today I talk to people and they say, I go to Amazon and I see the good ratings and the bad ratings, and I pay more attention to the bad ratings, and it makes my decision whether I use that service and that business.
So people don't go to review sites to find a local business. They get a review site to check up on a local business. And that's what people need to understand. A review site is a third-party website. In other words, if I'm looking for a pair of sneakers, I don't go to Yelp. I go to Google. I put in Bing or Yahoo or whatever the case may be, and I put in sneakers, right? And that gives me a list of businesses, which are usually major businesses, Nike, Reebok, Adidas, et cetera, that are selling sneakers. Then give me the small businesses. They're on page 20 or 25. So, when someone goes and looks for a product, it's not a review site they're going to or a daily deal site. They're going to a search engine, which is where 90% of people go. So when you sign up for a third party site, like a review site, a Groupon, Yelp, Google, Bing, whatever you want to do, you're only getting 10% of people looking for your product. Whereas if you were to buy keywords like on Google or Bing or whatever, you're getting that 90%, but you're paying so much for them. And so the way we address that was through really strong content, really strong keywords. So, we do geotagging and things like that. So instead of someone looking for a pair of sneakers, a pair of shoes, tennis shoes, whatever the case may be, we don't use that as a keyword. What we'll do is we'll be very specific. Black Nike high top running sneakers. Although you might get less traffic, when you do get someone that clicks that link, which puts you at the very top of Google on page 1 because it's a long tail keyword. A lot of people aren't using it. But when you do get a click on that link, you're getting someone who's ready to buy. You're knocking out the window shoppers. You're getting someone who's not looking for shoes. They're looking for a specific shoe. And so long story short, that is what really kind of got us to the point to where we have these guys getting, instead of paying $30 a click for a keyword, they end up with us spending 15 or 20 cents a click, but they pay monthly. We started at $89 a month. So their traffic wise, they're getting really, really, really good traffic. There's no contract either. So, there's just things we did to try to adjust to the small to medium sized business owner that works for them, and that they realize, hey, I'm getting a good product, I'm getting a great price, and I'm getting good results. And that was the goal. And we finally reached that goal. It's taken some time, but over 4 years, we've finally mastered it.
Yeah, and that's why I love what you're saying here, Bart, is because a lot of people are not experts in SEO and knowing even what keywords they should be choosing to make their business stand out. I've heard people say, oh, I'm doing a bunch of Facebook ads or Twitter ads, which are even more pricey, and they're getting 0 results. And those might be good mechanisms to use part of your marketing package, but if you don't know how to use them properly, you're not using proper keywords that match your business, you're quite literally making Facebook and Google richer.
Well, look, Twitter, Facebook, Google, they're great avenues. And don't get me wrong, everyone has a purpose in this business. But if you're going to Twitter and Facebook, you're going for branding. You're not going for customers. Okay, when you go run a Facebook or Twitter ad, you're not going to get a lot from it. What you will do is you'll start to build branding. Now, if you can afford to continue to do that, then eventually you'll start getting customers. But it takes time. And so we went a different route. We went, instead of branding, let's see if we can get these guys actual traffic with people ready to buy. And that's what we started out to do, and that's what we ended up doing. But I want to say the last stats were 93.7% of our traffic comes from search engines, because we don't promote Scout Puppy Local. It doesn't matter who we are. We're nothing more than a platform that hosts your one-page website, a landing page, if you will. Yeah. For that, all the traffic we get comes from search engines looking for small businesses on our site due to the keyword, SEO, things of that nature. Look, you can be a dentist, and I have a great dentist, by the way. Every time I go to him, he gives me the gas and puts on Pink Floyd. I love it. I'll tell you, the best fillings I've ever
I can't wait to go to the dentist.
Tell me, hey, look, man, you can find anything in Brooklyn for pretty much any price you want to pay, right? Long story short is, he's a great guy. I love the guy. In fact, we've actually done lunch before. and he has a really nice website. He paid $4 or $5 for this website, but he didn't get a lot from it. And I want your guests to listen to me extremely close. The stupidest thing you can do when you're building a website is use your company name as the URL. The search engines don't give a rat's patootie about the name of your company. If you're a plumber, that URL should say best plumber in Brooklyn or best plumber in Chicago, or wherever the case may be. No one cares. No one's searching for your company name. No one cares about it. Hate to break that to you guys. No one cares what the name of your company is. They care what you do. And to be found, those are things that when somebody built your $5,000 website or you built your little plug and play $80 website, no one did that. Because that's basic. This is all basic SEO that no one does. So in other words, the goal of a search engine is to find the most relevant content into that person's search. Whatever you write in that little box above Google is what the search engine's job is to find the closest relevant match of material that matches that specific keyword or key phrase or long tail keyword you put in. Therefore, what you want to do is you want to try to figure out what that customer is looking for, what they would search for. If you were a plumber, what would you put in that little search box to find a plumber? And that's how we would go about it. That's how we approach it. We do it completely backwards, completely different, and that's why it works. So when people sign up for our site, although we build them and let me make this clear too, it doesn't matter if you have a website or Facebook or Twitter. This is totally standalone. We do things like that. We make your URL is going to be scalppuppy.com / instead of being like Hank's Oyster House or Bob's deck building, it would be best deck building in Phoenix or whatever the case can be, or the tastiest oysters in where. We use that tastiest. Let's use the phrase tastiest oysters. Throughout that, we put in that's a major keyword, and we will put that throughout the site. The H1 tag, the big header on a website you see when you click a page, is the big it's the H1 header. H1 and H2 headers are very important because they tell the search engine what your site's about. So when that search hits your site and the URL is best oysters in Phoenix, H1 tags, best oysters in Phoenix, H2 tags, best oysters in Phoenix, and throughout that, those keywords match up, that's what SEO is. SEO is not building your website with your cool name and making it really colorful and flashy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Search engines look for content, okay? If you're a dentist, you're still a content, all right? Like Scalp Puppy Local, we're not an advertising agency. We're a content company. We're found through content. And people need to think of it in that way in order to be able to understand how to get organic traffic. Organic traffic is free traffic. It doesn't cost you anything. Yeah. And yes, it's possible to get to the top of a search engine. You just have to do it right. So
I love you're going here. I just love that you've hit here, Bart, because a lot of small businesses have come to me and offhand they're like, hey, can you look at my website or tell me what I'm doing right or wrong with my podcasting or whatever? Why am I not getting the hits and whatever? And I love that you mentioned that it's not about whatever you think your fancy name is. Oh, the colors are just like that, or your logo. They go spend all this money on an expensive logo graphic. I'm like, dude, no one cares. And my husband always says, look at Target. It's a bloody Target, and it's mad rich. But it was the company that made the logo stand out. It was that the company gave a product that people were like, I want to go to Target, get the cheapest, best stuff or whatever. And then they saw Target, and they recognized, oh, that's the place I get it. Or McDonald's with the big M. It's not because, the M made McDonald's. It was the other way around.
Exactly. So the goal of someone, like when I shop online all the time, I'm a huge Amazon fan, love Amazon. Jeff Bezos. When he created Amazon Prime, it was the most genius move I've ever seen in my life. This guy you had to pay him to shop on his site. It's beyond mind-boggling awesome. But if you think of the way your business gets found, think of a tire, okay? No one ever reinvents a tire. But if you think of it in the words of online advertising, you don't need to recreate the tire. You just need to put thicker rubber on it. And in doing so, you understand whatever people are doing now, advertising online, as far as their websites or URLs, things like that. The reason why they're getting found is they're going with the status flow, right? They're going with the sheet. You need to really stop and say, okay, if I was looking online, what keywords would I put in? And that needs to be your major header. On top of that, you need to add extra keywords. We at Scalp Puppy Local, we add a minimum of 40 keywords to every business page, simply because those keywords get you found. So although your main title might be best oysters in Phoenix, we also add keywords into that match up with that other people may put into a search engine too. Oyster Saturday night or cocktails and oysters or whatever the case may be. And that is what creates the search engines making you the most relevant content. And on top of that, we also do a blog every 90 days for you to make sure you stay relevant in search engines. And those blogs usually end up getting more hits than the actual business page does. So
Yeah. And this is awesome because you're mentioning something very important. People get hung up. Oh, I like this name. Even myself, I created Savvy now 7 years ago. And I was just racking my brain. Which should I call it? What made it really driven and people driving it to our radio show was really the content and the guest and the information that we're helping grow their business. It wasn't the name that, oh, I must go to Savvy because of the name. It had nothing to do with the name.
It drives me nuts too because people like, oh my God, I need all this Flash. And okay, so for your listener out there too, look, websites, search engines, they can't read Flash. Flash is you don't need it. If I go to a website and it has content and pictures that I'm looking for and a price I'm looking for with a product I'm looking for, I'm going to buy it. I don't care whether you have Flash or not. Don't care. You don't need to be flashy to sell your product or your service. And, do what everyone else is not doing if you really want to get to the top of search engines and get inexpensive free traffic. And that's what people need to think of. This isn't rocket science. This is common sense. Unfortunately, everyone thinks that they need to go with the status flow and how everyone else is doing it. And because of that, because they're doing what everyone else is doing, they're getting the results everyone else is doing. Because since 99% of small business owners are doing that, they're getting results at the 99% of the page because they're behind the other 99%. So, and it's the reality of it. I mean, we get, hundreds of thousands of hits a month. And we get that simply because of the way we base the page. And, look, our goal is to actually get you traffic. Yeah, you got to pay us, $89 a month. It's like a tank of gas or a bar tab. But you're going to get a lot more results-wise as if you were to pay another company $300 or $1,000, something you cannot afford. And I think the big selling point for us when we first opened up is people were like, what's Scout Puppy Local? We never heard of Scout Puppy Local. Was that no contract? And we really hit that hard. Like, look, we have no contract. We'll never have a contract. We know how good our product is. And anytime you want to go to a business that has a contract, be wary. But here's a funny kind of story for you. About 2 years ago, I was talking to a guy, and I want to say, I don't remember what line of work he was in because we deal with so many, but he was telling me that he signed a 6-month contract with a local firm. I forgot the name of it, but it was a smaller kind of review site. And they liked him at a 6-month contract. It was $299 a month. And he said it was so horrible that he actually went to the bank and canceled his debit card to get out of the contract. Wow. And I want you to think about that. You get into a contract with a company that's so bad that you think it's so good because of what they tell you, not what you actually see, but what they tell you. And you hate it so much and it's so expensive for you. And look, $300 is a lot of money. I don't care what anyone says. It's a lot of money to anybody. Yeah. And you hate it so much that you literally have to get in your car and drive to the bank and cancel your debit card and wait 2 weeks in the mail to get another debit card. And that's to the extent that a lot of people, since that guy told me that, I talked to other business owners, I hear it all the time. They're like, we got suckered into this contract and we can't get out of it. And, I had to cancel my credit card or my business, my debit card or whatever the case may be. And with us, it's not the case. You give us 10 days notice, you're canceled. Just like that. But, if you give online advertising takes a while, not a little while, a few months, but you have to give it a few months simply because once we submit, so we submit right now to over 200 search engines. Come January, we're going to bump that number up. But once we submit, a lot of the search engines we submit to are small mom and pops like Dogpile, things like that. These guys go through, we do the big ones, Bing, Google, Yahoo, so on and so forth, but we do a lot of the smaller ones too because those aggregate into a lot of traffic for you guys. So when we do that, some of those, they go through like hand by hand and approve listings. So when you sign up online, the first month, you'll get traffic, absolutely. But once you get to that second or third month, you're really going to see, you're going to be like, wow, I definitely see my stats coming up. And it's important that you remember that. This is not buying keywords intentionally where you're paying a boatload of money up front to buy keywords. You're investing, $89 to $300 a month, depending on what package you want. And, it's a long-term goal. We're going to get you traffic first month, but every month you're with us, your traffic's going to go up. One, because every 90 days we write you a blog. So at the end of the year, you really have a 5-page website. You have Scout Puppy Local business page, which is your 1-page website that we like to say on steroids. Because it's really good. I'll be honest with you. We do really, our guys are some of the best in the business. We don't play. And we do these page build-outs in 3 business days. So once you sign up, within 3 days, you're up and live. But when we submit to the search engines, you have to remember it takes a few months to really get going. But in that your first year, you got a 5-page website. So really, you have a big website, but it is SEO strong and it's beautiful and it's blogged and it's a business page, and you're paying a reasonable price. Yeah. So
I love that you're going here because something you mentioned early on is don't do whatever all the other business owners are doing. You have to stand apart. And you said, well, let's say we'll use the tasty oysters, best tasty oysters in Brooklyn or something. What I found interesting about a lot of business owners getting started is they want to be humble. It's like, oh, I don't want to say that because what if it's not true? What if there's a better oyster out there? I'm like, dude, that's no. And it drives me crazy. It's like, if you can't promote yourself, no one else can. So if you can't shout from the rooftop how great your gift or whatever you're giving to the world, your service, your product, the thing that you're giving of value to the world, why should they believe you?
You remember one of my favorite movies called Roadhouse? Remember Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze?
No, I don't actually. Oh my God, I gotta watch it.
Anyway, there was a scene in that movie to where he's a bouncer or something in bars, and there's this one scene to where I can't really repeat it on your show, but you look at Patrick Swayze and they're like, well, what if my mama is whatever? And Patrick Swayze looks over and says, opinions vary. So the reason why I said that is because just because you think that your oyster is the best and somebody else doesn't mean that you're wrong. Mm-hmm. So it's not a crime to be happy and to really push your product. And the problem is with you being a business owner, you have to be in that mindset. You have to say, hey, look, this is the best product, and it has to be the best product. If you don't have the best product out there, people aren't going to buy from you. You're not going to go anywhere. If we didn't have the best product on the market, SEO-wise, for the price we have, we wouldn't have gone national in 4 years. And people need to understand that when you start your small business, no matter what it is, if you're a dentist, you are the best dentist in whatever town you're at. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and go out there and be the best dentist. Yeah.
It's just like, look, if you're in a room of people and you're watching a play and the play is horrible, right? But when the curtain drops, people still clap. You don't really want to clap, but everyone else is clapping, so you clap too. Mm-hmm. Right? So same product. But keep that in mind. So one thing I do want to mention is when you're doing the SEO, if you want to do this yourself or whatever from this 30, 40-minute podcast, that's fine. You're not going to do well because it takes a long, long time to figure this out. But one thing I will tell you is that suppose you have a business in Chicago, Illinois, right? And we'll use Chicago, so a city of like 3 million people. Around Chicago, the thing about cities, which is really cool, is you have a city, you have a bunch of little small towns around it that support the growth of that city. So a lot of people who work in that city may live in those small towns and communities around that city. If you do the math, in most major cities, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, New York, I'm not going to add to it because it's not true, because New York's just got just way too many populations, 10.3 million or something?
Yeah.
13.3, I don't know. But Boston, Richmond, Virginia, Miami, Florida, those cities are really supported by the small towns and communities around it that come into that city every day and they work and they go back home at night. Mm-hmm. So when we're doing the SEO and the tag, we geotag it. So in other words, we might put those long tail keywords in Miami. So it might be best Nike black high top sneakers, Miami, Florida. But we're also going to nail 7 or 8 small towns and communities around that city, because people need to understand that when you're doing keywords, you're in a lineup. It's almost like a pitching lineup or a batting lineup. Whatever keyword you're using, whoever's in front of you who put that keyword in the day before is always going to rank higher than you because they've been on search engines longer. Okay, one of the things that Google uses is the length of time that your website's been open and that you've had that keyword that has they rank you up. I could go on for this for hours and I won't do it, but that's why we do what we do. Yeah. So by us using those best black Nike high top sneakers in the small towns around it, you're getting higher up on the search engines immediately because there's not as much competition in those small towns. Therefore, you're on page 2 or 1 almost immediately. And if you add the population of those small towns and communities, they pretty much almost every time reach the same amount of population that's in that major city that you're trying to reach. And that's just another idea, the guys listening who are do-it-yourselff or DIY or whatever, use that tactic as well. These are important. Geotagging means that you're close to it. And if these guys work in Miami and they live in, 20 miles outside of it, chances are they're passing by your business anyway. So don't just concentrate on the major city, because if you're brand new into that city, you're not going to rank on page 1 or 2 for years possibly. Yeah. But
a lot of competition.
Yeah. And that's why we say give it a couple months, because you've got to rank. Once Google comes to index you, you've got to read the material and they've got to rank you. So.
Now, how does it work for someone today? They want to get started with Scout Puppy. They have their own website. Their own website doesn't become obsolete, but how does it work with coming over to Scout Puppy and getting set up today? How does it work?
Very simple. So if you go to scoutpuppy.com, very, very simple. And the name behind that, I used to have a dog named Scout. He was I'm a big hiker. Yeah, I love to hike, and every year I would do these 4 or 5 day trips by myself. It's like a reset. I read this article in Men's Health or something, and it actually works. If you get out in the woods by yourself for 3 or 4 days with no phone or anything, mentally you'll kind of reset yourself and you'll come out fresher, relaxed, and kind of back to normal. because let's face it, man, life's tough and work is tough, and you get beat up every once in a while. So anyway, so he was chasing a rabbit or something, and he fell off the side of a mountain. And so I love this dog to death. I did. Scout was awesome. He was an amazing dog. He was a German Shepherd. He went everywhere with me. But anyway, long story short, this was several years ago. And, so I started thinking of what to name it. And that's how I came up with, well, like someone scouting out the best local deals, Scout Puppy Local. So people ask me that all the time. Someone say, oh, that's the corniest name I've ever heard. Some people say, oh, I get it. I don't really care. We're still the best SEO company in the country.
Yeah,
So
not about the name, but it's a great name.
Not about the name. There you go. Anyway, so go to scoutpuppy.com and you simply go to click Add Business. And you can bounce around the site all you want. Every business listing you see there is a Scout Puppy Local business page. So this is exactly what we're going to build for them. We keep it short and sweet. So go to the Add Business page, scroll down the bottom, pick the basic plus or the pro package. So basic, you'll get the Scout Puppy Local business page, everything we've talked about, 40 plus keywords, a blog every 90 days. We will scour the internet, learn all about your business. We'll handwrite, rewrite all your content. So we're doing everything in 3 days. Once you sign up, we'll get going. It takes 3 days to get you out there. Then we'll submit. We'll send you some emails, several emails in between that. And then you're off and running. I just want people to really understand, if you're serious about getting your business found, stop doing what everyone else is doing and do something that actually works. So, and stop throwing thousands of dollars. If people think that if you pay more for something, you get more, and you don't. And this is the definition of insanity. It blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I got all this advertising in newspapers when I got started, really expensive advertising, and bled myself, emptied my bank account, and got no results. But because, like you said, I'm in New York City, I'm advertising in a New York City paper with companies that have been out there 100 years. It's not going to happen.
It's yellowpages.com is a prime example. I mean, they were behind the .com boom so much, they stuck with that yellow book. For those of you old enough to remember getting Yellow Pages dropped on your front porch every year. The Yellow Page people coming by and verifying your telephone number, knocking on your front door is insane. But they were took so long to kind of get behind it that now when they used to be the top of the advertising game, they're down at the very bottom now because people just kind of pass right by them. So don't let that be your business. Make sure you do it right. You've got to get found. And look, for $89 a month, no contract. We do very well with it, and it's a reasonable price. And
totally.
Like, oh, no, it seems like a low price. Well, maybe you've been paying so much for so long, you don't actually know what the real price of something should be. So yeah, just, go sign up. Let's get started for it. And by the way, if for all you wonderful savvy listeners out there, if you use the code SCOUT100, like my old dog, you'll get the first month 100% off, and we'll get you up and going. And it's no contract. You can cancel whenever you want. Just be sure that you read the cancellation policy and all that. We need 10 days because it takes that long to get you out of the system. And that's unfortunately the way life works. But, give it a try for a few months. And I guarantee, our right now, our retention rate is 91% a month. And that's with no contract. So if you compare that to other ad agencies kind of like us, but they charge you a lot more, they're well above 55% a month. So there's a reason for that. Look, we're reasonably priced. We do what we say we're going to do. You get great results, and you'll be happy. So.
Yeah, you make a really good point there, Bart, about people think they don't even know what things cost because they've been told that if it costs more, it must be better. And I know from personal experience working as a financial advisor, coming into big businesses, one business was doing horribly. I gave them, walked in, gave them an analysis saying, here's how you can make things better. They said, great, but they didn't want to make the changes. They kind of wanted things to change, but not actually do anything different. So then they said, okay, you didn't help us. Okay, we got one for more money, twice the amount, and they went out of business. I was like, dude. Sometimes you make a perfect point there. Spending more money does not equal better quality. And
unless you're buying furniture or a car, other than that, it's just not. And I think people also get, well, Google's so well known. They've been around for 20 years. We know so well. I'll go ahead and pay $20 a keyword. I'm going to get something. I'm getting something. I know I am. And they don't get nothing. And then they're like, then they just gave up. They're like, oh, online advertising doesn't work. Yeah, it does. You're just not doing it right. You're not going to the right places and doing the right thing. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news out there, but 99% of people it doesn't click with them. They don't understand it. They're like, oh, I'm a dentist. Yeah, if you're a dentist in Washington, D.C., there's thousands of dentists. What are they doing? Buying Google AdWords. Why would you do the same thing? It makes no logical sense.
Exactly. And you have nothing to lose. What's a couple, $89 for 3, 4, 6 months? Yeah. And try. And that's the thing. Someone said to me, I don't pay for advertising. This is many, many years ago. I don't pay for advertising. I'm like, dude, you do. It's either with your time or someone else who's more experienced.
Exactly.
So,
how much did you How much is your time worth? I mean, mine's valuable. I love my time off. So, at the same time, I agree with you. It's just, people just, I don't know. It's just they lose steam, or they always think that, it's the psychology behind human beings. Even at 40 years old, I still can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, it's true. And you got to give things time, because you do great work, but in order to be seen amongst all, like, say you're a dentist and there's like 100,000 dentists in Manhattan or something, you've now got to be seen ahead of them. It is going to take time to get yourself to the top of the list. So give us some time. Go to Scout Puppy.
Please do. If you also think about it too, you go to Google, you spend $10 a click on AdWords, and a click means nothing. You're only going to get 1 to 3% business from 100 clicks, right? Mm-hmm. Which means if you're selling a product that's, $500, you're not even making your money back. That being said, you spend $1,000, you get nothing in return, where you could have come to an advertising agent like Scout Puppy Local and spent $89 per month, and in 1 to 3 months had the traffic you wanted. You're paying a reasonable price for it. The organic traffic is there that we get you, and you paid a third of the price. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird.
No. I mean, you can't get any better deal than that. And give them the website again, the code, and so everyone get there and get signed up today.
So go to scoutpuppy.com and put in Scout 100 at checkout. So when you click on the box of whatever pack is the basic plus, or pro, it'll give you a little coupon code. Put it in there. You do have to put your credit card number in, because chances are you're going to stay with us. And you get the first month totally free. We'll get the build out done for you in 3 days. Our business services team will be in touch with you via email, and we'll get you going, and you'll be very happy you did.
I know you will be. Thank you so much, Bart. This has been enlightening. I know you're going to make people feel revved up. That business can get out there. You can get heard. You can get seen. Doesn't matter if you're just getting started today. You can get heard and get business, get traffic. And thank you so much, Bart and Scout Puppy, for the wonderful work you do.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, okay?
Thank you for coming to Savvy Business Radio.
Savvy Business Radio broadcasts worldwide via a large podcast network, celebrating business owners, entrepreneurs, influencers, and successful individuals. Find out about our paid sponsorship opportunities or how to become a guest. Call 732-474-7375 or email Christina at savvybusinessradio.com.